platforms, including social media, but also mainstream media, for that event. And if you can be present, please come on out. We have demonstrated that we can have a good meeting, we can have a safe meeting, and also both in substance, style, and presentation, it is a good experience. And therefore, we invite all and sundry to be a part of Sam Sharp Square if you are able to come this Sunday. Otherwise, please tune in, because there's a lot that will be in store, as I said, as we pivot to the next phase of the campaign going forward towards September 3rd. I wanted to make a quick comment on some of the utterances that we have been seeing played out in the media space, starting with a comment from the opposition PNP, and specifically from Peter Bunting, who is the shadow spokesperson on national security. And I wanted to highlight this comment because, you know, this country has been kept back to a large extent because of crime and the fear of crime. And I think it's important, particularly in this current dispensation, when Jamaicans are being asked to decide who is the best party, political organization to carry this country forward, to appreciate the difference between the PNP and the Jamaica Labour Party. And I think Peter Bunting has offered an opportunity for the country to zero in on what this difference means for them, for their families, for their communities, for their freedom of movement, for their businesses, for their own safety and security within their space, which, as we know, has been a major debilitating factor in our country. Mr. Bunting, at his party's manifesto launch, and as reported in the media, speaks to this difference between the PNP and the JLP from a crime-fighting standpoint, describing, and I'm quoting here, the JLP having a warrior mentality among the security forces, while the PNP promotes a guardian mentality. You know, on the face of it, I really gave it an earnest effort to try to understand what he means by that, and had a difficulty coming to terms with that interpretation based on his own track record as a former Minister of National Security, and certainly the track record of the PNP in terms of fighting crime, when juxtaposed or compared with what this government, this Jamaica Labour Party government, has done. Firstly, I want to say that given the heinous nature of the crimes that we have seen in this country meted out on innocent Jamaicans, sometimes it does take a warrior mentality to respond, and to respond within a context, not to disregard human rights, as some would want to claim, but to respond in a way that will recognize the seriousness of these crimes and why it is important to assert yourself as a state, as a police force supported by the army, and indeed by all of us, in order to face down the criminals and the criminality that has been taking place, and to achieve the ultimate objective of making our society safer. So he may, Mr. Bunting, that is, not realize that he may have been complementing the Jamaica Labour Party strategy by recognizing that you have to assert yourselves in the midst of a crisis. And we have had, for generations, a crisis of crime and violence, and it has taken its toll in many ways on our society. His comments, I think, too, are somewhat condescending, not somewhat, but condescending of the security forces, because implicit in what he's saying is that somehow the security forces are conducting themselves in a manner that should not be supported. And that's the interpretation, because let's face it, the government prescribes policy, the security forces implement. They are the operational agency of crime fighting. And in criticizing us as a government, he's also technically criticizing the work of the security forces, even though I've heard him say otherwise. But in this case, this is how it comes across. And he needs to clarify that. We believe that the security forces, based on government policy and government support in terms of resources, in terms of additional manpower, upgrading of stations, additional mobility, additional intelligence gathering, have done a commendable job. And the manifestations of that is the significant reduction in serious crimes, well over 40%, closer to 45% year to date, 43% to be exact in terms of murders. And that for me means, for us, means a safer society and a society where Jamaicans can move about more freely and pursue their ambitions in whatever way, shape, or form, particularly in communities where they once had to close their doors early and live in fear. And this is not something to criticize, this is something to commend. And I think that Mr. Bunting is way off course in his description of how we have approached responding to crime and violence. The other thing I'd say is that he needs to be reminded of his own legacy. He needs to be reminded of his own legacy. First of all, we have 318 fewer Jamaicans that have been murdered this year when compared to 2024. That's the 43% reduction year to date. That's a very good thing. And Jamaicans, I think appropriately so, have applauded the work that this government and the security forces have been doing. Gangs in this country have been cut from 300 when the Jamaica Labour Party took office to under 100s. That's the intelligence that have been made public by the security forces. That is a very good thing. If it takes a warrior mentality to achieve that, it means a safer society. And his lack of recognition of that, to our mind, is an indication that he's out of touch. And if his approach is to do otherwise, whatever guardian mentality means, then what it will mean is that we will see a surge in crime and violence again, which is what we don't want. And the Jamaican electorate must be very mindful of that. His own legacy, I think, demonstrates why he speaks the way he does, because he was not very successful when he was at the wicket as the chief minister or portfolio leader for crime. In fact, serious crimes on average increased by some 60% and 20% spike in the final year of his tenure. So Mr. Bunting did not achieve success, and he's on record of saying a range of things as to why, including the need for divine intervention, which we have no problem with divine intervention, but the Bible does say faith without works is a problem. And he clearly did not do the work. And therefore, we are of the view, simply put, that he neither has the experience or indeed the moral authority to describe the crime-fighting measures that have been pursued by this government and this Jamaica Constabulary Force in a disparaging or indeed disrespectful way. And the country, we urge in this very important time, should take note of that, where we are, where we're going, and what we don't want to return to as they decide how to cast their votes on September 3rd. There is a difference. We agree with him. The difference is we are tough on crime and we are getting results. He wants to cuddle in terms of his approach. And as his own experience has shown, he achieved nothing. In fact, crime got worse. I want to quickly comment on another issue that has been a public discussion, which is the public opinion polls that started a few days ago, but yesterday party standings were in one of our daily newspapers. Today, actually. First of all, let's make it clear, we don't attack polls. This is not our position. This JLP party and government, we tend to shy away from speaking too much about polls. We observe, we assess, we listen, and we then determine how we position ourselves in terms of our response, our feedback, and indeed our policies and programs. We observe what is done independent of us, and we conduct our own internally, because it is important for us to recognize a sense of direction and the public's perception of our direction. So I want to make that clear. We have observed those polls, and I'll only comment by saying that based on all the polls that we have seen and those that we have conducted internally, we are comfortable that the Jamaica Labour Party has the momentum going into these elections on September 3rd, and that's a comfortable position to be in, but it's not a reason to be complacent. It's another reason to become arrogant. It's not a reason to feel, as some may be tempted to do, that somehow it is over. That's not our position at all. Our position is we will continue to work harder for the support of the Jamaican people in order to secure a third term, because we believe that the Jamaica Labour Party is the best party at this time to move the country forward. So while these polls do offer some insights, we have also formed insights based on our own internal polls, and we believe that there are some similarities in some areas, and in other areas we have alternative views. But we are comfortable and confident in our approach, in our strategy, and we will continue to pursue that approach and strategy going forward. In the coming days, just before I introduce my colleague, Minister Johnson Smith, you will see the strategy continue to reinforce the positives of the campaign, but there will be some pivoting around other things that we will highlight as part of nudging, encouraging, educating in some cases for persons who may not know the Jamaican electorate as to what this party represents, why Andrew Holness is still the best choice to lead Jamaica into the next 5 years, why we have a team that is competent, and why it is important for us to continue to build on the achievements that this government has made possible, working with the people of Jamaica over the past 9 years. And we ask you to observe, listen. Where you have questions, ask those questions. And it will be our intention to make it as easy as possible for you by creating the necessary platforms for the Jamaican people to have access to information and to make informed decisions come September 3rd. So that's my brief overview and introduction at this point to the next phase. And I'll ask my colleague, Kamina Johnson-Smith, now to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon to everyone who's here with us. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls on the younger side who's tuning in nowadays, as everyone gets involved with the interesting and exciting campaign that we are rolling out during this decision-making time. Special hello, special good afternoon, special big up and bless up to our incredible Jamaican community that lives overseas, that is following the campaign closely on social media platforms, as well as within traditional media that they access online. We welcome you, welcome everyone, and thank you for sharing time with us and for listening attentively and for always feeling connected to your country. We know that many of you are even looking at how, well, some of you buy your ticket already, we have heard, but others are planning now that the and online of our record of achievements. We printed and distributed about 150,000 now, and of course, thousands have been accessed or downloaded online. They represent, as you've recognized before, that they're about a little over 250 of our achievements. Our policies, our programs, and the actions that we have taken, acts of care that have positively impacted lives all across Jamaica. And as we sometimes say, boy, the JLP is always talking about these policies and programs and these statistics. But we want to assure you that, A, we don't publish our achievements to boast. We publish so that people are informed and able to take an informed decision at this time, that they, in support of democracy, look at the performance of the government, look at the lives impacted, and that they therefore consider that when they decide, when they make their choice on the day. Of course, we are hoping that they will choose Jamaica and they will choose the Jamaica Labour Party. I don't know if any of you have seen that video with this youngster online saying that, he is not only, that he is going to vote for the Jamaica Labour Party because Andrew not only send him go school, but Andrew pay him to go school, that them get Monday to Friday, and get traveling. And he is, of course, speaking about the two-pronged stipend, which is part of the CARE program, which supports the tuition-free and fee-free heart training and certification all the way up to level 4. We not only speak about these programs and announce them, but we implement them and they change lives. And I thought this young man's spontaneous outburst, yes, he has put it in a political context, but it is for him joy, empowerment, and self-improvement. And that's what the Jamaica Labour Party is about. So when we speak about our achievements, it's because we want people to look, share, and enjoy and feel the upliftment that is happening around us. Today, and the booklets, by the way, continue to be in high demand, and people continue to ask us about them. They also ask us about things which are not in the booklet and ask why certain things weren't in the booklet. They also have said that they would love to learn more about the booklet or learn more about the achievements that we have undertaken during our period in government or term of office. And today, we therefore thought that we would take you to the next chapter of our achievement story. Here now is our ministry highlights document at the website, which we're about to share with you in some ways. But I also wanted to tell you a few things about the document. I'm not sure, guys, if you're going to bring up the document for me online. Thank you. We not only just remind you of what we said in 2016 we would focus on in our manifesto. If you go to 2020, sorry. 2016, we started to work for you. We entered office. And in 2020, we said that we were going to focus on certain things as we created a stronger future. I'm going to direct your attention to the screen so that we can have a look at the e-booklet, which is on, because we not only share more, and we've divided by ministry, so you can find things that you're looking for by ministry. This, again, was a very difficult process. But Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation shares elements with you more about the largest road, highway development and port infrastructure expansion across the nation, about the work that has been done in expanding national water access, the social water program, what we've been doing in climate action. I've heard people say, you know, environment is not just about building trees. It's not about just building trees. And we have certainly done more, so we say some more about that. It speaks about how we've empowered MSMEs, how we're transforming urban centers, and advancing the digital economy. It speaks about our systematic land titling program, and we're going to say more about that, of course, in just a couple of days. And it also, of course, goes into the Office of the Prime Minister. You know that housing is there, green energy is there, more urban renewal and public sector digitization. There's so much in here. And on the cultural side and the creative industry side, as you flip through, there are so many things which you may have either forgotten or not recognized. Other work for us to go through. But we not only speak about the work that has been done in sports and development of grassroots youth sports development, but about the well-being for creatives. It's about how we've embarked on the entertainment zone creation, the decibel zones, environmental impact zone assessments, all of the preparatory work that is going to help us move into the next chapter of harnessing our creative economy. It's about how it is that we have moved forward in the political cooperation of women and their empowerment. It's about the fact that we have not only exonerated our national heroes who had criminal charges against them and our other freedom fighters, as we needed to do that in order to fully and successfully complete our lobby for the exoneration of Marcus Garvey overseas. People forget that we exonerated our freedom fighters right here, including Chief Taki. We have also had a revival and renewal of national knowledge and celebration of Jamaican culture. We have provided additional support for coral garden survivors and economic support, economic empowerment programs for cultural and religious communities such as the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, such as the Maroons in the various communities, including Akompong. We have a lot of information to share. This is our next chapter of our achievements, the next chapter of our achievement story. And we invite you to share, have a look. Many people want to think of the Jamaica Labour Party's achievements in a particular box, but it is so rich and wide and life-impacting that we really did not think it would be too much at this stage to share more because people have been asking us for more. This document is not going to be printed, however, in the same way. It is available online, and we want to remind that, like our Record of Achievements digital book, it has all the accessibility features, whether you are actually blind and therefore need an audio component, or you're colorblind and therefore need an adjustment of the colors. All of that happens automatically once you click on the accessibility feature that allows you to then have the adjustments. If you are dyslexic and your reading is therefore has a different type of challenge, you can click on the dyslexia button and it will ensure that the books present themselves in a way that where the words present themselves in an easy format for you to read, digest, and enjoy. So we are very much focused on not only putting a document in the public space, but making it accessible to everyone, whether you have cognitive and learning challenges, whether you have ADHD, whether you have dyslexia or low vision. There's the ability to engage with this document and to understand more about what the Jamaica Labour Party means when we say that we choose Jamaica and that we invite you on the basis of our performance, on the basis of our real and committed actions in Jamaica to choose the Jamaica Labour Party. So again, we are speaking about this document. It is on our website, and I did say that today we're making live JamaicaLabourParty.com once more. And there's another feature that I want to share with you, another new and innovative feature. If our team can just bring up the screen once more, I want to take you to our interactive map. And this is, again, another way in which we want to show you that we're holding ourselves accountable for the work that we said we would do for you, and we're taking you to this map. So what we've done is ensured that the infrastructure work, which is many and varied, is highlighted a bit. So I want you to maybe check on St. Mary, any other parishes that you want. Country St. Anne, you'll get the options there to check on how many police stations. As you see, they're up already. So Wattown Police Station was repaired, Bamboo Police Station, Brownstone, Cave Valley, Alexandria. Look how many police stations and lockups have been repaired or renovated in St. Anne. If you want to take me to another area, how about the health centers? Don't come out of St. Anne yet. Oh, you can go, or you can, but let's just look. Health centers, Claremont Center of Excellence, Stairtown Community Health Center, Monique Community Health Center, Brownstown, Alexandria. So we have many, can just take us to, we have the fire stations that are in different, Brownstown, St. Anne's Bay, Ocho Rios. We also have our vulnerable people section, because if you have we have done indigent housing projects, and we've also done more drop-ins and night shelters in different parishes across Jamaica than ever before. So you see there's a new one in St. Anne. Maybe you could take us to Major Road and Works, because there's quite a bit there as well. Yeah, thank you. So here it's going to take you through all of the works, not only parochial roads, but major works, which are listed there. So again, we've done this for every parish. So every parish allows you to go in and navigate, see if your community is there. And again, we encourage our members of the diaspora, Jamaican communities overseas, who I know you like to see whether your community is represented in the work that's being done here. Go online and see what's happening in the parish of your birth or the parish in which you grew up. If you could come out of this screen and just go back to the map, the wider map itself, just to share. Scroll down for me. Scroll down. Thank you. That because of the sheer volume of information, the school's infrastructure projects couldn't be inserted. But if you click on the school's infrastructure projects, you are going to see all of the programs that have taken place, again, sorted by parish. So you can look and see whether you live in Kingston now, you used to live in another parish, and your family still lives there. You can go back and look and say, what's happening there? This is how you hold your MPs accountable. You said, boy, you know, I see this one is done, but what about this one? Or, boy, I didn't realize all of this had happened. Maybe I need to go back and see what other opportunities are there. So we want you to, we are holding ourselves accountable to you. Our achievements, our performance is not about boasting. It is about accountability and about performance and delivery to the people of Jamaica. So we hope that this will not only be a good and useful research tool, but that it will be a real connecting tool for Jamaicans overseas who want to see what's happening, as well as the everyday average Jamaican who just wants to know what's going on around us in the country. If you can just check back to go to the wider screen again once more for me. Back to the home page. Yeah, and just scroll down a little. So of course, all our candidates are here by parish as well. We want you to meet them. We want to see the wonderful faces of the Jamaica Labour Party. Easily searched again. Yeah, you can jump to St. James, where we'll be shortly. St. Mary, right? So we have our candidates and their locations. And again, this is really just a part of the getting to know you and more of the information that we're providing. But if you can just scroll down for me beyond our candidates, we have our good news chart. We love our good news chart because we think that it is a really good way to look at the movement in Jamaica. So what we have done is look at where we took office, March 2016. June 2023, I believe there was another turning point in terms of decision making there. And in June 2025, we also updated the statistics that, some major statistics that have taken place under the Jamaica Labour Party. So again, we can just scroll down so they have just a brief look at. But even things like the income tax threshold having moved from 592,800 to 1.5, we also moved it to 1.8 now, and it will continue to move. Poverty prevalence, 21.2%, and then down to 11 in 23, and now to the historic. 11 was historic, 8.2 is even more so. It's looked at the movement of the minimum wage, NIS pension or NIR, and of course the debt to GDP. Information, which is helpful to students, as well as the general population, and again, importantly, facts. Facts that people can use when they are considering decision making. So these are the main updates that we wanted to share with you, the main features of our website. We hope you will enjoy them. We are going to add some more in short order. And of course, what we'll add is relevant to my next point of interest. Because of course, you recognize that our campaign has been focused on the fact that we've been doing more for you. And what you certainly have been hearing across the piece is that we are committed to doing more. We know that we have not reached every family, we've not reached every community, we have not moved every lever of economic growth that we know can be moved, but we are committed to doing so, and we are committed to getting there. We've also said, of course, that we're really pleased that so many people are excited to see what's in our manifesto. We've heard people asking questions, and we've heard people saying we want to see what's in the JLP manifesto. And we think that's great. And we're responding to that, of course, by ensuring that we meet our commitment of having said to you that we will be sharing our manifesto in a new, creative way, and that we will make sure that we engage as deeply and widely with the Jamaican people as possible on the issue. And it is for this reason that I Choose Jamaica, the next chapter, will be launched for the first time out of Kingston. No manifesto has ever been launched outside of Kingston, nor has one ever been launched at a mass rally, and it will be launched at Sam Sharp Square at our mass rally on Sunday, the 24th at 4 p.m. So we really want to encourage you to come out. We want to see you there. We think we'll have an exciting presentation for you. We want to invite you also, of course, to tune in to the social debates which take place the night before, at which you'll have the opportunity to undoubtedly get a preview of some of the contents of the manifesto that, of course, will be relevant to the debate. So again, I Choose Jamaica, the next chapter. See you at Sam Sharp Square.
Thank you very much, Kamina. And just before we turn over to Senator Marlon Morgan for a presentation on a different aspect of our media conference today, I believe Dr. Tufton has a comment to make regarding the matter of crime.
Right. I just want to, I was nudged to say that I made a slight miscall when I spoke to the stats on Bunting's crime legacy or crime management legacy. It's actually 6% per year during his tenure, with an approximate 20% spike in his final year. So just to be very clear and transparent, 6% per year during his tenure increase in major crime, and 20% approximately in his final year. Just to be clear for the record.
Senator Morgan, over to you.
All right, thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. I am here to just convey some remarks regarding the conduct of the campaign, certainly both campaigns, and some related observations that we have made here as Team JLP. Now, by the way we have conducted our campaign to date, I think it is clear to the electorate and indeed the wider public, both here on the Rock and in the diaspora, that it is the Jamaica Labour Party that is being responsible, sober, and dignified in the conduct of our campaign. Indeed, we are the political party that is serious about a peaceful, more harmonious, and orderly Jamaica. It is quite evident that we regard the right of the Jamaican people to exercise their constitutional right and express their democratic will on election day. We have been clear in the Jamaica Labour Party that we will not promote violence, irresponsible conduct, or attack democratic institutions in our beloved country. Team JLP does not promote or endorse bullyism in any way, shape, or form, and if inappropriate conduct manifests, we are prepared to hold our members and supporters to account and condemn any departure from the standards to which we hold ourselves. On the contrary, however, over the past few days, we have seen incidents which confirm that our main opponents, the opposition PNP, is neither suitable nor ready to govern Jamaica. Their utterances and general posture and attitude project arrogance. It reflects an egregious lack of principle, and it signals a willingness, as it were, to engage in acts of intimidation in apparent breach of the code, the political code of conduct. Team JLP has noted reports of a PNP candidate and his supporters appearing to intentionally posture in a way which signaled a willingness to obstruct or otherwise impede a lawful tour being undertaken by our Prime Minister and Party Leader, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, and one of our candidates over recent days. We have seen disrespectful declarations by PNP supporters that the Jamaica Labour Party members and supporters, to include our Prime Minister and Party Leader, cannot come into an area which they clearly regard as their stronghold and feel as though they have ownership and superintendence over that area. We have also seen and heard a PNP activist and well-known PNP blogger on social media threatening that he is willing to open gunfire, kill people, and turn Jamaica into Haiti if his party, the PNP, loses the upcoming general election. The menacing and threatening words that emanated while the individual pledged his loyalty to the PNP candidate in St. Elizabeth is indeed disturbing. As law-abiding Jamaicans, we note and welcome reports in the news media that the individual has been taken into police custody. We also note persistent attacks by the PNP on the media, an important and indispensable pillar in our democratic system of governance. We were neither shocked nor surprised by the PNP's subsequent public admission by way of a media release that they have moved to blacklist all proposed questioners from a particular media entity in the upcoming national debates being organized by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Of note, also, is the PNP's desperate, unwarranted, and quite frankly, childish move to report to the Broadcasting Commission journalists merely because they did not want to be criticized or did not like how they were criticized by the respective journalists. These unprincipled actions do not augur well, nor do they accord with the democratic traditions we hold dear and resolve to uphold and preserve as well-thinking and well-meaning Jamaicans. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, the PNP's actions in relation to the press reveal that they are prepared to be vindictive, oppressive, and dictatorial, using political power to exact vengeance and pursue witch hunts. It is important for the public to note that all of these recent acts have come following certain declarations. I speak here of declarations such as a declaration by a misguided PNP candidate that she is prepared for war and, quote, if a war, end quote. And there's also another declaration by another misguided PNP candidate that, quote, she have our mandem, end quote, and, quote again, all who switch are going to end up in a ditch, end quote. We condemn in the strongest terms the aforementioned intimidatory, anti-democratic, arrogant, and despicable utterances and actions by the PNP and its representatives. The PNP's entitled approach has no place, quite frankly, in a peace-loving, law-abiding Jamaica where we are committed to elections that are free and fair and, of course, free from fear. It is simply not the kind of politics and society we're seeking to forge here in 2025. However, we are not surprised that there have not been one word of condemnation from the leadership of the PNP, because it was, quite frankly, their very leader, Mark Golding, who set the tone, we believe, for this kind of behavior when he urged his supporters, his PNP followers, to, quote-unquote, get wicked on them. Because in his words, quote, Labour right now go give up this so easy. And of course, he said those things while noting that he represents a PNP garrison, which he said, quote, give him a strength, end quote. There's also the PNP's embattled and beleaguered General Secretary Dayton Campbell, who uttered equally concerning words when he said over in Darlaston, Westmoreland, some weeks ago, that when people go low or when others go low, he goes lower. That is not the tone that should be emanating from the de facto chief executive officer, CEO of a political party. And of course, we are all well aware that the PNP is up and down the country, banding about the place their new mantra, blood and fire, indicating that they are blood and fire comrades. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that Mark Golding and his supporters, by virtue of their recent and past conduct and utterances, yes, have been reiterating and underscoring for the people of Jamaica that they are simply not suitable, they are not ready, and they are indeed not prepared to lead this beloved and great country of ours. I close by reaffirming that the Jamaica Labour Party remains fully committed to a peaceful general election, an election that is free and fair, and as I said earlier, is free from fear. The way we have conducted our campaign signals that we are committed to the best traditions of peace-loving and harmonious conduct of elections. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Marlon, for that comprehensive presentation. A couple of key nuggets from this media conference convened by the Jamaica Labour Party. First, an indicator that our general election campaign is going well, and we're confident that on general election day, we will retain the confidence of the people of Jamaica. And we say that with confidence and humility, even as we continue to reiterate our key messages as we seek to put forward our agenda to the people of Jamaica, and that agenda is solely to improve the lives of as many Jamaicans as possible. Another indicator from our campaign chairman as well, that the Jamaica Labour Party will not be distracted by the publication of polls. We remain focused on the mission of our party to create development and create a better future and prosperity for the people of Jamaica. I recall as well, when I was 18 years old in 2007, the Don Anderson poll was published on the eve of the general election, showed the PNP ahead by 4 points. Just a few days before the election in 2016, a similar indicator from Don Anderson. Quite surprising to me that we're hearing on the eve of an election from Don that the Jamaica Labour Party has the momentum. But be that as it may, the key message is we won't be distracted by polls because we're confident in the work that we have put in. Another key nugget from the media conference, as Marlon likes to say, is that the Jamaica Labour Party's website, our brand new website, has been launched. And we fully intend to launch our manifesto, as Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith indicated on the weekend. I want to say a special word of commendation as well to Senator Johnson-Smith, who has put in the long hours and her team, long hours in making sure that the document pertaining to our achievements, the ministry achievements and the manifesto have become a reality. Quite comprehensive compilation that took a lot of work. The Jamaica Labour Party is confident in our body of work. We're confident that the people of Jamaica are perceptive and will not be distracted by empty rhetoric emanating from the opposition. And eventually, we will retain the confidence of the people on D-Day. I now open the floor for questions. I ask that you introduce yourself, state the media entity from whence you come, and pose your question.
CVM TV. That's Akeem Oret, CVM TV. You mentioned that the manifesto will be launched on August 24 at the mass rally at Shamsharp Square. To what extent do you see the manifesto changing the way voters will respond on election day?
Well, I wouldn't want to speculate, but having had a great deal of interest paid to our achievements and having taken the time to make sure that we're sharing and engaging people so that now they're excited about the manifesto as well. We feel confident that we have a robust document and an exciting set of plans to put to the people of Jamaica for them to now consider the next chapter of our I Choose Jamaica story, and that they will therefore have the best opportunity to engage, to be informed, to think about, especially those persons who haven't decided yet if they're going to vote, or if they're going to vote, who they're going to vote for. We want to give them as much information as possible so that they take the best information as possible. And our manifesto is being launched widely in this way, being taken to the people in this way, and in this innovative way, because we know young people, they like things to be a little different. They like a little buzz. They like a little difference in how things are approached. And so we're making sure to engage them in that way. And it's therefore hoped that they will take a decision in our favor.
Can I just comment on that? I want to support Minister Johnson-Smith's comments, but just to add that the achievements document that we prepared and presented to the populace, which has been in high demand up to this point, and has gotten very positive reviews, really, we hope, would have positioned in the minds of the electorate the fact that this government, over the last 9+ years, has performed and has delivered for the people of Jamaica. The lowest crime, the lowest reduction in crime, the highest reduction in crime in a single year, lowest poverty, lowest unemployment, and I could go on and on. We want to appeal to the electorate to consider the fact that if we have delivered over the last 9 years in their interests and for their best benefits, then we would like them to consider, as they read or review our manifesto, to build on that trust and give us a mandate to continue over the next 5. This is important as part of our case, that we are not just talk as others are. We also deliver, and we work hard to deliver. The Prime Minister, the team works hard to deliver, and there's evidence to show and to prove that we have delivered. We are therefore saying, give us an opportunity to continue delivering. And that's the pivot that's going to be important, that we hope to encourage and stimulate the minds of the Jamaican electorate to make that shift from the achievement to what we intend to do over the next 5 years.
Another question from Dwayne Anderson from TVG News. Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. The first question actually is for you, Abka. Hopefully you can take this on. As an award-winning journalist yourself, what do you make of the recent developments involving the journalists and the political parties, and what concern you may have for this on Jamaica's perception as relates to freedom of press index?
I suspect you are referring to the controversy concerning the national debates. Well, the position of the Jamaica Labour Party is that we're of the view that all journalists from a diverse group of media houses are to be allowed to participate in the national debates. What transpired, and I refer to it because it's a matter of public record, the opposition put out a statement where they indicated that they objected to journalists from a particular media house participating in the national debates. And the Jamaica Labour Party's position was, though our substantive stance is that all journalists are to be allowed to participate, if the PNP is objecting, we reserved our right to make a similar assessment based on the poll which was submitted. I believe that it is unfortunate, the stance taken by the opposition. It smacks of a sense of arrogance. And I invite the people of Jamaica to consider if the PNP is posturing in this arrogant, dictatorial, and unfortunate manner concerning an important institution such as the media. Can you imagine what they'd be like if they were given the opportunity to govern Jamaica again? I invite the people of Jamaica to assess the posture of the opposition, because it doesn't augur well for our democracy. It doesn't augur well for press freedom. And I quite frankly believe they should back off their criticism and their attacks on the media. This business of you don't like the criticism proffered of you or proffered of an elder statesman of your party. So therefore you make a complaint to the Broadcasting Commission. Jamaica is not used to that sort of posturing from political parties in 2025. I believe it's full time the PNP take a step back, and again, as I said, back off and leave the media alone to do what they do best in the interest of the people of Jamaica.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure if any of my other colleagues have any questions. I could just ask the
please
three
proceed.
that I have list. All right, let me just ask these three, then I pass the mic on. The PNP indicated that they are about to launch their the second phase of their manifesto, but it's only after yours. Any concern that based on what you produce, they may try to one-up you? You could take this, Minister Johnson Smith or Dr. Tufton.
Do you know, I thought that those were just rumors, because I didn't think that there could be such a barefaced admission of the failure of their manifesto as would be indicated by their intention to publish a supplemental manifesto. When we criticized the manifesto, the leader of that party said that it was, you know, the work of months of meetings with their spokespersons and their shadow cabinet and advisors, that it was, you know, a highly developed policies and plans, well thought out programs. Around the defense, which I was actually a little surprised at, because I thought that he would have actually been disappointed in it. But what's clear is that the leadership of the party, now having reviewed its contents, have realized that it is a failed manifesto. It deserved an F+, and they are now trying to rally back. I don't know if they plan to try to review ours and then see what else comes, but I think the mere fact, I've never heard of a manifesto being done in two phases. We've always launched our manifesto after nomination day. If you look and check the dates, you'll see that we launch our manifestos after nomination day. And we have been committed to ensuring that there's information that fills the space in any event in the time leading up to it. So we weren't disturbed that because they didn't have an action to answer our achievements, that they brought theirs forward and clearly botched their job. But I think that they should be called out for this supplemental manifesto, and people should say, you know, you've put things forward, and is this the kind of slapdash policy making, the slapdash approach to planning and governing that you would undertake if you became government? You can't figure it out and try to take the time to get it right the first time. Because that's what we were about, taking the time to make sure we get it right. Not perfect, and, you know, who knows, maybe we'll find another typo. But the substance of what we have done, the work, the real value of it is clear, and we're confident that the Jamaican people, when they stand the two beside each other, that theirs will continue to be found wanting.
And in support of the point made by Kamina Johnson-Smith, I believe the indication from the opposition about a supplemental manifesto is another clear suggestion to the people of Jamaica that they can't be taken at their word. They aren't confident in their policies and plans. They will take one stance today and another tomorrow. They supported an increase in salaries. Mark Golding, the highest paid PNP, the highest paid politician in the country. Then they proposed to criticize it. They welcomed the appointment of Mrs. Holness as Speaker. Then they proposed to criticize it. They suggested an increase in taxes on food imports. And economists indicate that that will naturally result in a rise in prices in Jamaica if implemented. Then they backed off it. They suggested an increase in GCT, a 1% increase in GCT. None of those plans have made it to the manifesto. This talk about a supplemental manifesto is an indicator to the people of Jamaica that there can be no confidence placed on the word of the opposition PNP. The good book, I believe, says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that characterizes the posture of the Mark Golding-led opposition.
Thank you so much. I'm happy that you mentioned that situation involving wages. I want to ask a question, use it as a segue to ask Dr. Tufton, what do you make of the situation involving the public sector workers? Are you in any way worried that this powerful block of voters could be angry going into the election and possibly vote against you?
I think that the Prime Minister has articulated the position of the government on this issue. He has made it clear that he will be fair, or certainly the government will be fair in the negotiations. So it's a work in progress, and I would only add to that beyond what he has said, which is quite clear, that in this process of discussions and negotiations, that principle, once applied, and it will be based on the Prime Minister's directives, will mean a reasonable offer, and we should allow that process to take its course. You can't negotiate via media, or I think it really starts with a conversation. And I think the Prime Minister has set the tone, and that tone augurs well for all parties involved. My job is not to telecast seat counts, but rather to provide strategic guidance as a member of a team of very competent individuals, some here at the table, others not in the field, including the General Secretary and, of course, led by the party leader. We are confident in our approach. We are confident in our strategy. We are confident in our candidates and our policies. And our program is building out to September 3rd, when the people will have a choice to decide. And we are confident in victory. I'm not going to give you numbers. I'm not in that business as of now. And if I did, I probably wouldn't say it to you. I have been consistent in saying that all 63 candidates that we have fielded are competent, are qualified, and can provide leadership and are attractive candidates. And our job is to give all of them an equal opportunity to be successful, because we believe that the Labour Party is the best party to carry the country forward. And that's as much as I'm prepared to say. I did say before you came in that we don't criticize polls. We watch, listen, observe, assess. We conduct our own assessment internally, which we have. You've heard comments on that. And we pursue our path that we think is the best path to inform the public and to request humbly their support for the next term. And we have been doing that. I think it has been very steady. And the momentum that was reflected in this particular poll is similar to what we have been assessing and observing in our own internal polls, and that we believe augurs well for the future and for September 3rd in particular.
Okay, our final question is from Abigail Bartley from Nationwide News.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have 3 questions, 2 for Dr. Tufton and 1 for Minister Johnson Smith. I will go with Minister Johnson Smith first. Can you say more about what informed the decision to launch the manifesto at a mass rally?
Sure. We had said before that we wanted to make sure that in the same innovative way that we launched our achievements, bringing it to the people, not a closed door room with, men in gray suits and that, are limited into hotel access, but one which widely engaged with people who might not normally engage with the political process and beyond. Taking it out of Kingston was also very important to us because you always hear in rural Jamaica that Kingston is not Jamaica. There's always an interest in us making sure that policies go beyond the urban. We must not only speak about it, but we must do it and demonstrate our commitment to doing more differently and in this way. Launching at a mass rally, and not only a mass rally, but launching in Sam Sharp Square, the historic Sam Sharp Square, the heart of Montego Bay, our second city. We think that it's a sign of respect and regard for the rest of Jamaica outside of Kingston, as well as, of course, to the citizens of St. James who have wide representation within the Jamaica Labour Party at this point in time. They have been a part of the support of our landslide victory in 2020, and we hope that they will remain engaged with us as we proceed into this next stage of decision making.
Thank you very much, Minister, and to Dr. Tufton. On the matter of crime, do you get the sense that the Jamaican people support the warrior approach to crime fighting that Peter Bunting accuses the JLP of pursuing? And why do you think the Guardian approach advocated by Bunting is misguided?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to attempt to interpret Peter Bunting's designations, except that he is attempting to make a distinction in his own interests and his own political advantage around something that is directly contradictory to the data and the facts. And that's where I have drawn the line, and that's the basis on which we've made this comment. He is attempting to draw a distinction between a government and a political organization, the Jamaica Labour Party, that have invested more than any other government in police officers, 6,000 additional, in police station upgrades, in mobility, in technology, in collaboration, both local and international partners, and in doing so, in the interest of the Jamaican people, have been able to bring crime down over a one-year period, more than any other government, by 40+% in terms of murders. And he wants to juxtapose that against their own stewardship of, under his personal stewardship, of a 6% on average increase in violent crimes, approximately 20% in his final year, of his own utterances around the relying on divine intervention, as opposed to the efforts that are necessary. And clearly, what it equates to is, on one hand, PNP crime plan that has not worked, and a JLP crime plan that has manifestedly worked. Now, there's no comparison there. Now, if he's hinting at other issues, he will have to explain. But for us, what is most important to the Jamaican people and to our responsibility as a government is to reduce the fear of crime and to reduce crime itself, because there are so many implications positively around that. And beyond that, there is no argument done, basically. I think the Jamaican people would have more confidence in us based on what we have done than with the utterances of Peter Bunting. And I wanted to make that point clearly.
May I make a point, please? Sorry?
Go ahead, Senator.
Just to say thank you. That on the point, I think that we can state that unequivocally, the Jamaica Labour Party government, did them with the right equipment to ensure that they're able to gather intelligence, and also that crimes can be properly prosecuted when they apprehend criminals. We are also guardians. We're guardians of the citizens of Jamaica, the law-abiding citizens of Jamaica, against the gangs. We are crystal clear who the bad guys are. And we believe that the people of Jamaica are happy with a 40% reduction. We want to bring it down more. And we know that the gangs are directly responsible for 70% or more of the murders in Jamaica. And it is only if we support the security forces in taking it to them that we will be able to bring that down so that communities can thrive. Who does he think the gangs are? They are the people who suppress communities so that the young people can't. These citizens have the young people, the children who grow up hearing gunshot, who don't now hear it. Trust me, we are quite clear where it is that our protective instincts and our guardianship lies. It is we guard the rights of the people of Jamaica. Thank you.
And the Prime Minister and Dr. Horace Chang, the National Security Minister, have been very clear that even as we support the protection of the human rights of every single Jamaican, the Jamaica Labour Party administration is aware that the security forces, the men and women of the JCF and the JDF, who put their lives on the line to protect our citizens on a daily basis, they are dealing with individuals who are prepared to import or attempt to import thousands of bullets and hundreds of guns into Jamaica. Individuals who are prepared to shoot at the men and women of the JCF and the Jamaican citizens and take their lives in the most callous manner. And the Prime Minister and Dr. Chang have been clear that the men and women of the JCF and the JDF can be confident that they have the support of this administration, that when they are confronted by violent criminals, to respond decisively and protect themselves and the Jamaican citizenry. Final question.
Yes, my final question for Dr. Tufton. What's your assessment of the debate teams going into the political debate starting Saturday, and how has preparations been going?
My assessment, well, we have the better teams, clearly. Our teams aren't just not a function of individuals. Our teams are teams that have had the opportunity to provide leadership and have been the force behind this achievement document, whether directly through portfolio responsibilities or indirectly through supporting the rest of government. And therefore, we believe that they are in a very good position, the best position actually, to articulate around these achievements and why Jamaica is better off under the Jamaica Labour Party. So we're confident, we're comfortable, we're not taking it, we're not lightly, we're not being complacent, and we're preparing, So we look forward to the debates.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tufton. The Jamaica Labour Party remains committed to putting in place more policies which enumerate to the benefit of the people of Jamaica. We urge the people of Jamaica to look at our track record and continue to choose Jamaica and choose the Jamaica Labour Party, even as we reiterate our commitment to do more for the people of Jamaica. Thank you much to our media partners who attended this media conference, and we thank the viewers online in Jamaica and overseas. Have a very good afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it. Good.
Choose Jamaica. Choose Jamaica. We're on a mission to lift up our communities. Jamaica Labour Party building shared prosperity. No, we never said that it would happen overnight.